all patiently wait for the quarantine to be over, the NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions have been a little bit slow, but nevertheless, we have two stories that we're going to be talking about. And before we talk about that, if you're a barber out there in the Seattle area and you're willing to come to houses to cut hair, let me know in the comment section down below. As you can tell, the hair right now is not looking too hot and just needing some maintenance, especially the beard as well. But like I said, no matter what hair I have, whether I have a hat on, we're still going to be talking about the NBA news and rumors. So let's get started on today's topics, as we have two of them talking about the NBA and ESPN working on a televised horse competition, and also the Australian Basketball League NBL commissioner, and this is a update to a story that we did here on the channel, and that Lamelo Ball is one of many potential buyers of the Illawarra Hawks. So let's start off with the first story we have here today, and the first one we have to talk about is of course the NBA and ESPN working on a televised horse competition. According to Adrian Wojnarowski, the NBA and ESPN are working on a televised horse competition involving several high-profile players, sources told ESPN. Discussions have been ongoing with the NBA, the NBAPA, and ESPN about a competition among several players in isolation, presumably using their home gyms to go shot for shot in the playground game as we all know and love. Now, when it comes to the game of horse, if you've never played before, it's a lot of fun. Obviously, you have to match the other person's shot. So if a person makes a three-pointer, you have to make a three-pointer as well in the same spot. And it just allows a lot of creativity, and it's a lot of fun playing when you're with your friends, or whether you're with whether you're with your basketball team. No matter what it is, a game of horse is always fun. But when we talk about ESPN trying to host it, I really don't think that it's necessarily a great idea. I don't think that a game of horse is really going to be something where a lot of people are going to be very interested in, especially I know that ESPN is going to televise the hell out of it. We saw what they did with the NBA 2K Players Tournament. I was not a fan of it watching it, and just looking at everything that I've seen from it, it's just not what I really expect from ESPN and also the NBA in terms of content. I know 2K has been doing their best to kind of get people to forget about what's going on in the world. Obviously, we can't say the name here on YouTube, or else, this video gets pushed down to the hells of earth and will never have the light of day to come out. But, continuing to talk about each and every video, it's one of those things where I don't think I necessarily see the NBA, really making a dent in people watching. I mean, a lot of people, I don't feel like we're watching the NBA 2K Players Tournament. Obviously, it has some gems. We saw a lot of players got their butts whooped. It's just one of those things I don't necessarily think it's a great idea. When it comes to competition and what ESPN should do to fill their time slots, I think that they've been doing it kind of appropriately by having flashback games like they did with the 2006 USC-Texas game. They had the LeBron James finals where they came back 3-1, and have many other games like the St. Vincent St. Mary's when they were playing Oak Hill against Carmelo Anthony. There was many games on there that I could say that is what you should fill your time slot with. Even movies, I would be acceptable with it, but sports movies. But nevertheless, a game of horse is definitely not going to be cutting it. And just even thinking the logistics of it. When we think about people in their homes, right? NBA players have different hoops. They have different setups. Some people might have an outside setup. Some people have an inside setup. And we even have players like Giannis talk about how it sucks that he can't, he has a home gym at home, but he just doesn't have a basketball hoop. And whether he gets a portable one or not, it doesn't matter. The thing is that when you look at what people are doing, not everyone has the same access to the same things, right? Some people have an indoor court. Like I know that Shaquille O'Neal, I see his son's playing in the Miami Heat court. Like there's many courts that people have, whether it's inside or outside. It just also, like I said, it depends on the weather, the rims as well. When it comes to playing horse, some rims are more bouncy than others. Some have more give, so you can hit a shot. It can hit the top of the roof, or it can hit the top of the backboard and then just bounce in on a soft touch. I mean, there's just many variables and very different factors for why I think that this is not a good idea. And I know that ESPN is really hurting right now. I know that Disney's hurting because obviously the movie business isn't doing so hot right now. They have to release movies on Disney Plus, or they have to, release it at $20 a pop. It's just one of those things where they're going to be losing money, and ESPN is losing major money right now, not having the rights to host certain stuff, right? They really were looking forward to those playoff money. They were really looking forward to those playoff commercial ad revenue. But unfortunately for ESPN and for many people, it's just not going to happen until the season starts. And I just think that it also takes away the seriousness of how people are now starting to get back into that competition, right? We were just in the midst of a month left of NBA playoff or NBA regular season games to now be halted and now have a game of horse. Horse is necessarily appropriate. It's not something that many people are going to be interested in. And really, like I said, there's just so many factors and variables that we have to really look at and assess and wonder, is it the right time to be showing a game of horse? I understand that they could do it like the 2K Players Tournament, and if you guys haven't watched my review of it, it's not good, but if you want to check out the video to kind of figure out what I really am talking about in terms of how I feel about it, then go hit the comment section down below, or go and check out that video specifically, and just, let me know, like I said in the comments, what you think about it. But really looking at that itself and seeing how, yes, there are some bright spots in that tournament. There was some trash talking. We had some blowouts. But nevertheless, like I said, it's not the highest level of competition. A game of horse is definitely better than the 2K Players Tournament, but it's not by much. Horse is definitely a game where it comes down to luck. It comes down to how good of a shooter you are. And obviously, we've seen players play before. Kevin Durant won a horse competition back when it was in the NBA All-Star game. But like I said, it's just like there's a reason why they had to take that away and replace it with something else. Like we're just not interested as fans to watch that. Will we watch a charity game of All-Stars? Yes, I think people would love to watch a game of charity of All-Stars, but obviously due to social distancing and many other factors and variables, we can't have that yet. And I think that that's what's the most disappointing thing about just not having sports in general, is because there's so much physical contact. There's so much close proximity you have to be to someone. There's no way in hell that you can even have it. And unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. And we have to be patient. And hopefully in June, or hopefully earlier, maybe in May, we can have NBA basketball back and we can start the playoffs. Because I know a lot of people are clamoring for it. A lot of people are yearning for it, just like I am. Just like I know many people here watching this video who are NBA fans are. But we just have to be patient about it. And I just don't think that a game of horse is necessarily the right move. And ESPN just has to kind of bite the bullet a little bit and just kind of wait until there is more, activities going on around the world where they can put those things in the time slots. But unfortunately, I just think that the model ESPN should really follow is flashback games and just, debate shows like First Take and other highly questionable, if you like that stuff. The NBA Roundtable, whatever it is, those stuff what should be filling ESPN. And one other thing too, if you are going to have those and you're going to have people work from home, can you please supply them with the right equipment? I don't think it takes that long for a multi-billion-dollar company to give everyone an appropriate microphone where they can sound like this rather than they sound like they're talking at a Zoom conference, when we all know that ESPN can definitely afford to get people some Audio-Technica mics or whatever the best brand of mics, and even a Logitech camera to kind of have clear and concise audio and video. Because I just think that that's a lot better than having them talk and debate as if, I could watch this stuff on YouTube. That's just my opinion. That's just a little side detail on this little horse competition. But I just think that that's appropriate, right? I think that the setup should be everything. And if ESPN can't even provide that for everybody, then you shouldn't even be having the show in the first place. I think everybody should have equal access to a good microphone and a good web camera. I'm not saying that mine is the best and, it's far from it. But nevertheless, it's still a better quality than what we're getting from our MacBooks, what we're getting from our iPhones, and what we're getting from our iPhone headphones, our Apple Pods with the microphone. Like, it just does not sound good in terms of audio quality. So why don't we just step it up a little bit? ESPN, First Take, no matter what it is, whether it's FS1, whether it's ESPN, let's try and see if we can do a better job with that. And like I said, this is such a side tangent. This is such a side rant that I really should be focusing on what horse is really about and how I think that it's not going to be necessarily the right move. I understand that many people are going to be for it. I think people are yearning for basketball no matter what it is. But we saw how the 2K tournament went, and in my opinion, it was a miss. And I think that this is also going to be a miss as well. Not because of people not watching it. It's just when you think about it, when you pay that monthly premium subscription for ESPN, whether you get it through YouTube TV, your traditional cable, or whether you just pay for the app itself, I just wanted to ask yourself this. Is it worth paying that much money to just get a game of horse? No, it's not. I think it'd be cool if you get the archive of all these old games. I think that's worth the money. To me, looking at previous games, whether it's past NBA Finals games like NBA League Pass is doing, that to me is worth the money, and ESPN really needs to figure out a way to really up the quality on their debate shows, and also to make sure that the flashback games are very good and a lot of people are very interested in them as well. So let's move on to our next story here, talking about Lamelo Ball and the NBL saying that he's one of many potential buyers trying to buy the team. Next story we have to talk about is, of course, Lamelo Ball being one of many potential buyers of the Illawarra Hawks. Now, if you watched our video last week, I talked about how Lamelo Ball made a big baller purchase by buying the team, and Jermaine Jackson said it was as good as a done deal. But there's actually more to this story, and this is more of an update for that story that I had earlier in the week. So NBL commissioner, I should say, Jeremy Loiger, I butchered that last name, cleared the air on recent rumors that Lamelo Ball and his business partner Jermaine Jackson purchased the Illawarra Hawks, calling Jackson's comments an honest mistake. Jackson announced the purchase of Ball's former club before the story was retracted by the Hawks' current sponsor, Tory Lavelle. It is a bit of a misunderstanding and miscommunication, and I don't think that there was any malice intended. I don't think anyone was trying to leverage the situation. I think it was just a snowball and it got a little out of control, but we've had a conversation and there's certainly no bad blood out there between anyone, said the commissioner of the NBL. Now, to me, I think if the NBL was smart, they would let Lamelo Ball own the team. I know that there might be potential buyers and people that have more money than Lamelo Ball at this moment trying to buy the Hawks, but if you really stop and think about it, if Lamelo Ball was able to buy the Hawks, imagine the publicity and imagine the players you would be able to get in the NBL if that was the case. Think about that Lamelo Ball was a 5-star prospect, right? If he was able to bring other 5-star prospects that play in high school that were like, you know what, I kind of want to see what my competition's like. I'm going to forego my sophomore year or my junior year. Like I said, I'm not advising players to skip school. I think that you should definitely finish high school. That's the number one thing. But if those players were able to continue their education and also play overseas and play amongst the competition, if they are themselves a 5-star prospect or even a 4-star prospect or just trying to prove themselves, then this is definitely an opportunity that I think that is too good to pass up. And I think that the NBL, if they were smart, if they would, really think about logistically what Lamelo Ball brings to the table, then to me, you have to make Lamelo Ball the owner along with Jermaine Jackson. I think that that's a no-brainer. I think that it really allows those players to understand, okay, this is what Lamelo Ball did to get there. What can I do to get there? And I think that this is definitely going to be a cautionary tale of making sure that the deals happen before you say anything. I understand maybe they were kind of trying to finesse, by him saying it, did he buy the Hawks? And then they were like, well, all right, let's just let him have the Hawks. I think that that's what they were trying to do, but ultimately that didn't really work out. But like I said, if the NBL was trying to really be competitive, trying to be another European league where it is in Spain and many other places like that, then you really should allow Lamelo Ball to own the team and let him freely have access to players that you could potentially have on your rosters, and imagine how the NBL could grow from that. I think the NBL could tremendously grow from having 5-star, 4-star prospects that many people watch their high school mixtapes and see, wow, maybe I should really be, let's say you get another Lamelo Ball type of player. Imagine the press and publicity that you'll be bringing to Australia and also the basketball league. Many people will be watching your product, and that's the whole key, and that's the whole idea of all this, is to make sure that you get eyes on the product. And I think that if Lamelo Ball was able to own the team, there will definitely be eyes on it. And I think that he's a lot better than his dad. You see that Lamelo Ball is more of a quiet kid compared to his dad. The dad is, of course, the loudest one, and I think that he always will be, because the mom is so more mellow than her, than everyone in the family. And I think that that's where the kids, honestly, all 3 kids seem that they're not very outlandish and outgoing, besides maybe LiAngelo. But I think the 2, Lonzo and Lamelo, are perfectly laid-back kids, and they'll let their managers and people do the talking and let them kind of handle the business. So to me, Lamelo Ball being able to handle the Illawarra Hawks, like I said, I think it's a great idea for them to really look into getting this kid a contract, getting him to own the team, because like I said, you could be bringing in millions and millions of revenue, not just by the name itself, but also thinking about the prospects and growing the league to where many people that are very NBA fanatics or NBA enthusiasts are going to be wanting to buy the NBL League Pass season, where they're able to watch Hawks, Illawarra Hawks games, or many other notable Australian basketball team. I mean, this is the first time that I've really paid attention to it, because I know that a lot of players have played in the basketball league, especially the Australian one. But this is the first season where I was like, okay, I'm actually going to start watching a couple games, seeing where I can find them, and start noticing and start taking trends and seeing how really good that basketball competition is. And I think that if the NBL, I should say, sorry, was able to allow, like I said, Lamelo to have the tools and the capability of owning the team, then I think it's a great idea. And I think that the NBL would make a mistake if he wasn't the owner. I mean, obviously, like I said, money's going to talk. The richest guy is going to buy the team. But nevertheless, if you want to think about beyond the richest guy buying the team just because he has a lot of money and is able to pump in a lot of money, think about the notoriety and clout and many other things associated with LaMelo Ball being able to own the team. And I think that that's something that many people should be thinking about when it comes to NBA players owning basketball teams. Think about, like, if Luka Doncic was able to own Real Madrid, like, what would that do for the brand? So obviously it doesn't really matter for Real Madrid, but let's say he was able to buy a Slovenian team and was able to, fill it in with very highly rated, highly recruited players to come play for that team, then I think that they would be doing an injustice, if I can even talk right now. They would be doing an injustice if they were not able to bring those high-profile players over there just because Luka Doncic, for example, like I said in the example, if Luka Doncic was the owner of a team, it would suck that he was not able to bring those guys because they decided to go with the richest guy to buy the team. I understand that money talks, and ultimately you have to back up the salary, you have to back up the workers' pay, you have to back up a lot of things to own a team. But that's the reason why you have managers, and that's the reason why I think LaMelo Ball trusts his manager overall. But I think that this would be a great idea. And just like many others, if LaMelo Ball was able to own the team, I could see the Big Baller brand resurrecting again. And I could see LaMelo Ball being the head and centerpiece of the franchise and really, like I said, bringing in highly level and honestly great talent to the NBL and beyond. I think that the NBL could be another feeder team type of system where instead of them trying to go to Duke or Kentucky, depending on when the high school rule is going to get replaced, they'll be going to the Hawks team. They won't be going to, like I said, they won't be going to a college team. They'll be going to an NBL team where they will get better each and every week. And I think that the competition is great there. And I think that a lot of players are going to understand, like, wow, LaMelo Ball got a top 5 lottery pick by playing in the NBL. I'm going to take my chance and go to the NBL. And you might get that 5-star recruit that might end up being the number 1 overall pick. And you might have more eyes on your product more than ever. But anyway, guys, those are the 2 stories that I'm here to talk about today. Like I said, we have the NBA horse competition, and we also have the NBL updated story on LaMelo Ball not actually owning the Hawks yet, but he's still in contention for owning the team. And I give you my thoughts and opinions on those 2 stories here in today's video. But let me know your guys' comments and opinions in today's video. What do you guys think about the competition of horse? Do you guys like it? Do you dislike it? And also let me know about this NBL story. Do you think that LaMelo Ball should be the owner of the Hawks? Like I said, I want to know your guys' opinions and comments in the comment section down below. But anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie here on The Charge, giving the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. Like I said in the beginning of the video, no matter what the hair looks like, no matter what I'm wearing, I'm still going to be giving you guys NBA news and rumors. And let me know if you guys like this longer format. I want to know your guys' opinion on this story. But like I said, guys, my name is Bernie, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.